Here's your news for July 24th, 2020, and your headlines for today include: WWE releases statement on the location of SummerSlam 2020. WWE wrestler drops F-bombs, pushes co-host, and walks off an interview. Tessa Blanchard allegedly held Impact Wrestling up for lots of cash before returning world title. Mike Tyson AEW return not likely anytime soon after report of Roy Jones Jr. fight. WWE rejected idea for live marriage consummation. AJ Styles discloses more shocking details about Paul Heyman. Breaking news about AEW wrestler and his career. Recently returned WWE superstar negotiating long-term WWE deal. Hall of Famer returning to WWE, and more. We're kicking off today with news from SummerSlam, as it's been confirmed that the show won't be happening at Boston's TD Garden. In a statement from WWE, it was confirmed that the ongoing global situation has made hosting the show in Boston an impossibility, though the statement ended with an interesting line, which reads, "SummerSlam will stream live on Sunday, August 23rd at 7 p.m. Eastern on the WWE Network, and information regarding a new location for the event is forthcoming." This line seems to imply that WWE are looking at hosting this pay-per-view outside of the Performance Center, something that the company hasn't done since February's Elimination Chamber event. Of course, given the current situation, it doesn't seem plausible right now for the company to host any of their shows outside of the protected Performance Center, though anything could happen before August 22nd. Now, recently, former NXT champion Adam Cole appeared on Pat McAfee's radio show, and things did not go well. On the show, McAfee suggested that Cole wasn't in Shawn Michaels' league, and said that his record-setting reign as NXT champion was down to the other Undisputed Era members, who were all more talented. Cole said it was ironic for McAfee, a former Indiana Colts punter, to claim he was only successful because of his team, as McAfee's career in football relied on other team members. He added, "You just happen to kick a football every now and then, and all of a sudden you feel like you're really important. Of all people to say that to me, that I surround myself with super talented people, and that's the only reason I was successful? You're a psycho." When McAfee criticized Cole's size and the idea that Cole retained his title mostly because of interference by his Undisputed Era brothers, things took a nasty turn, as the former NXT champion leveled into him, saying, "F you, Pat. Seriously, I'm sick of your shit. I come the whole way here, take time away from my family to come and do your stupid show, and you're gonna continue to disrespect me? Don't touch me. You, McAfee. You." While the jury is still out on whether this was a work or real, McAfee later put a tweet out saying that Cole would never be on his show. Many fans believe this to be a work, though some pointed out that, unlike how it's been presented in this video, Cole's comments weren't censored, something you'd think WWE would do given their PG rating, if they planned for this outburst to happen. The WWE interviewer also shared a screenshot of their conversation before the show, where they arranged the interview, as McAfee's response seems to give the impression that this was real. With both men being on WWE's payroll, you can never really know what's real and what's a work, but we doubt that this is the last time we'll hear about these two together. Over to Impact now, and former world champion Tessa Blanchard is reportedly sending her title back. According to Fightful Select, there's been disputing reports about the actions of the company's first female world champion, as one side has reported that Blanchard demanded a large sum of money for her to send the world title back. Blanchard's side of things have refuted that, saying that the company only provided her an address to return the belt this week, and that the title is planned for a safe return. Ultimately, it seems we'll never know the full story of what went on behind the scenes between Impact and the former world champion, but with Eddie Edwards winning the vacant gold at Slammiversary, the company clearly wants to move on from their controversial first female world champion. We're taking a look at AEW next, and though the company was able to get Mike Tyson for Double or Nothing and the following Dynamite, fans shouldn't expect much more of him. Kevin Eole reports that the boxing legend has agreed to an 8-round exhibition fight against Roy Jones Jr., which will be a hugely profitable match, but will also put a stop to any other plans, such as working with AEW. Following his AEW appearances, it was rumored that Tyson and Chris Jericho would have some kind of match, which would play off their collision in 2010 on Monday Night Raw, but now those plans seem to be on the back burner. Even at 54, Tyson remains in fantastic shape, as evidenced when he ripped off his shirt on Dynamite, and whilst he and AEW may do business down the line, the boxing legend will need all the time he can get to focus on Roy Jones. Speaking of AEW, this week's Dynamite saw the return of Sammy Guevara after the Inner Circle member had been suspended. Following horrific comments about Sasha Banks being unearthed, Guevara was suspended without pay for 30 days by Tony Khan, who has now weighed in on his return. Speaking to Sports Illustrated, Khan explained the sensitivity training that Guevara went through, which focused on tolerance, gender, and race relations, and added why he felt this week was the right time to bring him back. He said, "I think it was the right time for Sammy to come back because he's shown that he's very sorry and that he can change. He's spent every day over the past month trying to prove that." Hopefully Guevara will be able to avoid a similar situation, as it's clear that AEW won't tolerate these kind of comments from any of its wrestlers. We've got more AEW news next, as the company have confirmed an 8-team women's tag team tournament. So far, only Brandy Rhodes and Allie have been confirmed for the tournament, with no start date announced, and hopefully we'll find out more about this women's tag team tournament down the line. Back to WWE now, and fans will remember Drake Maverick's hunt for the 24/7 championship last year, which was also around the same time that he was getting married. In the storyline, Maverick's wife Renee refused to consummate the marriage unless he was champion, and in an interview with the Metro newspaper, Maverick spoke about an idea he pitched to the company, saying, "The one I pitched was the live consummation celebration, which was supposed to be a spoof on the Edge and Lita one, which was very PG, but you could imagine Drake Maverick stripping off for his wife, trying to take his pants off and falling over, then getting back up like it didn't happen." Though fans never saw this, Maverick is no stranger to making a fool of himself on TV, as evidenced by him peeing himself at Survivor Series 2018, an achievement Maverick said was done by keeping well hydrated during the day and holding it in. Following his April 15th release and his passionate video message, Maverick has been a much more sympathetic character in NXT, though it's good to see he still knows how to make people laugh. We are looking back at the horror show at Extreme Rules next, which proved to be quite the horror show for Kevin Dunn. According to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful, Dunn was particularly angry about the Raw Women's title match between Asuka and Sasha Banks, as some quote, "production snafus" set the veteran TV producer off. Dunn was reportedly particularly annoyed at Bayley being seen in angles where she wasn't supposed to be before the finish of the match, where she donned the referee's shirt to count the pinfall for her best friend, unofficially crowning Banks the new Raw Women's Champion. A rematch between Asuka and the Boss has been set for this week's Raw, and hopefully this match to determine the true Raw Women's Champion will be up to Dunn's standards. Over to SmackDown now, and more details have come to light about AJ Styles' personal issues with Paul Heyman. Styles has said that he moved to SmackDown because he couldn't stand working with Heyman, and this seems to be down to the former Raw executive director reportedly going against Styles' friends Gallows and Anderson. Speaking about the April 15th list of releases, Styles said, "Gallows and Anderson weren't on the list, but Paul Heyman spoke out abundantly like, 'We gotta get these guys out of here, we don't need them, they're getting paid too much.' The one thing Paul Heyman is good at is talking, he's very convincing." The Intercontinental Champion speculated that Heyman wanted them gone because he knew he had nothing for them, though the pair seem to be doing much better already now that they've joined Impact. Time will tell whether Gallows, Anderson, and Styles reunite either in WWE or outside the company, but one thing we do know is that the Phenomenal One wants nothing to do with Paul Heyman. Heyman isn't the only person in Styles' crosshairs, as during a recent Twitch stream, the Phenomenal One called out Heyman's former client CM Punk. Recently, there's been beef between these two after Punk said that the reason why Styles didn't put out a statement on the Black Lives Matter movement was obvious, though didn't explain what this obvious reason was. On his Twitch stream, Styles dismissed Punk's comments, and Punk himself, saying, "I'm all about business, and some people I don't think are capable of doing good business. It's that simple. He's not worth my time. This guy just likes to get attention, even if it's bad." Though they've never shared a WWE ring together, Punk and Styles have wrestled each other in the past, most notably in Ring of Honor, though it doesn't look like these two will be wanting to work together ever again. Back to AEW now, and at 35 years old, Cody Rhodes is planning for the end of his in-ring career. Speaking to Mike Johnson of PW Insider prior to this week's Dynamite, the reigning TNT champion said he's only got 5 more years left in him as an in-ring competitor. Rhodes explained that he wants to carve out his own lineage over the next 5 years, and given that he's one of the founding members of AEW, we are sure he'd have some kind of position waiting for him behind the scenes in AEW after he retires as an active wrestler. Cody made his televised wrestling debut on Raw back in 2007, and if 2025 is going to mark the end of his in-ring career, then the current TNT champion and former Intercontinental, WWE Tag Team, and NWA World Champion will have accomplished a lot in his 18 years. Back to SmackDown now, and two big segments have been hyped for tonight's edition of the Blue Brand. As promoted by WWE, the WWE Women's Tag Team Champion Sasha Banks and Bayley will address the, quote, championship landscape in WWE ahead of Banks' Raw Women's title match against the real champion Asuka on next week's episode of Monday Night Raw. An edition of Miz TV will also take place with special guest Naomi, who recently received fan support with the Naomi Deserves Better hashtag trending following her latest SmackDown appearance. It'll be interesting to see what the Glow has to say, especially as the Blue Brand looks ahead to next month's SummerSlam. Speaking of someone in WWE's women's division who arguably deserves better, Ruby Riott had an emotional week this week, as her victory over Peyton Royce marked her first singles win on WWE TV since February 2019. In a statement issued on Twitter, Riott teased reuniting with her former Riott Squad sister Liv Morgan, and though their third member, Sarah Logan, won't be seen given that she was released and is currently pregnant, having Morgan and Riott reunite would certainly help both women get more time on the red brand. One person who has no issue with screen time is self-professed United States Champion MVP, and it looks like the Ballin' Superstar is here to stay. That wasn't the case earlier this year, though, as while speaking to the Gorilla Position podcast, MVP said he had every intention of retiring this year, and only competed in the Men's Royal Rumble so his son could watch him wrestle. It wasn't too long after this that MVP accepted a producer role, but the company continued to use him on screen as an occasional wrestler and VIP lounge host. He added, "Before I knew it, my responsibilities as a producer became less and less, and I was asked to do more and more as a talent. Now I can say that WWE and myself are in negotiations for a long-term deal." Whilst MVP has declared that he is the true holder of the revamped Star-Spangled Strap following Extreme Rules, that claim of being a title holder may be up for debate, though fans should expect to see plenty more of MVP over the coming years. And finally today, we're ending with news from Lita, as the WWE Hall of Famer has said she's willing to return to the company. Speaking to Corey Graves on After the Bell, the former women's champion said she's down to make an in-ring return, though said it wouldn't be the worst thing if she never had a match again. Lita was also quick to praise how everyone is doing right now, especially given the ongoing situation, and ended by saying that she'd definitely return if the stars align. Corey Graves returned by saying that he hopes the stars align because he misses having his friend around backstage, and whilst Graves, Lita, and countless fans would love to see the Hall of Famer back in the ring, only Vince McMahon can decide if that's going to happen.